What is going on? Let's get the team on here. Heavy Pour Sports, late night on a Wednesday, coming at you April 15th. Tax day. I got mine in just like an hour or two ago. We got squeaking it. It's a little close to the deadline, but we got it done. Shout out TurboTax, helping me out. But T, don't shake your head at me, man. I don't even think about taxes until April. They gave you to April 15th. You might as well take all the way to April 15th.
Yeah, on time is on time. Good job.
And I considered hitting that extension, but like maybe October 15th. Maybe we just go ahead and get all the way to October. But no, I didn't procrastinate that much. But where you at right now? Coming live from the cell phone.
Yeah, because remember we found out last time I was on the road that my computer, all that stuff is blocked off now. So I am in Ruidoso. So if you remember on the news, where New Mexico floods all the time, and we had that house just like floating down the river, that's where I am. And we are doing a big exercise because we're getting ready for, flood season and wildfire season and all that again.
I also had a big exercise this week on Tuesday, where I had to run the ICP, and it is what it is, man. So it's over.
Incident command from law enforcement is a whole different ball game from your type.
Yes, especially when you're simming an active shooter and you got to light the whole base down and do all the stuff. I'll find out how I did. Evaluation will come out next week. I crushed it, I'm pretty sure. So, oh well. But Selena,
hi,
co-hosting 102.7 The Game, ESPN Radio. How was it? Your first experience there with Vic running the show?
It was good. Vic is a really good host in general, so I mean, it was fine. He put me on the spot though, some things, and I was like, okay, now listen. But
he told me about the Truth or Dare segment. Did he do it to you?
He did.
He called me last night. We were talking about some other stuff. He was like, what was the name of that JMI account that trolls everybody? And I was like, why? He's like, I got something for Selena. I was like,
oh my God. He literally said, is it true or false that you're dating that guy? And I was like, I am not even going to identify that with a response. Like, that doesn't even deserve, no. That man or that person is unhinged, is what I said on the radio. So, there you go.
That is true. Last but not least, the Irish Hammer. Sir, how you doing?
Doing great, Rando. How are you?
I'm better now. I'm better within the last couple hours. Old Zoom Diallo commit PG1 for the Kentucky Wildcats next season. And like I said when we put out the show information for today, thank you, Jesus, that we got at least one, because I was not about to come in here and listen to y'all talk for pretty much a whole hour and a half about your commits and have nothing to talk about other than people visiting and then decide to go back where they originally came from.
Well, T and I are still going to do that, but
yeah, I mean, we'll get into the portal season, and it's been rough, and Kentucky just doesn't know how. Kentucky fans, Big Blue Nation, just collectively doesn't know how to like take a pause, relax, let things play out. My goodness, we dive into this information that we get immediately, and we don't know how to act. We do not know how to act, and I'm one of them. I'm not saying it's just Big Blue Nation. I'm not a part of that. I am, but good grief, it has been one hell of a week. The highs and the lows have been pretty significant. From Pope is the guy, Tyron Stokes on campus. We're going to get him to this dude sucks. Fire him before he even gets to year 3.
Yeah, I mean, to be fifth in the SEC and a first weekend exit. Yeah, that's
all right. We don't know what's going to happen next year.
You're right, Hogball. You're right.
What did he say? Let's put this up here.
Yeah, I think that needs to be up there.
Yeah, go ahead and pin that.
But all right, I got to find a way to save this so it doesn't do this every single time when we just cover Selena up for a second. It'll do. Well, what might work since T's on his phone. Let's switch this over. That'll work.
That's
okay.
Fair.
So I guess we'll start. You guys had more, and you're tied to more so far. Tennessee going out, and you had some losses since we did on the show. I don't think Jalen Carey he was in the portal but hadn't committed to Mizzou when we did the show Saturday, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that is correct. I said no. I talked about it, but that was on Monday. So yeah, that's correct.
So what's going on? We see the chat. Thanks for jumping in there. Remember, if you're watching, the chat drives the show. So please jump in there, give your thoughts, your feedback, even your Kentucky hate. We'll take it all. But did that surprise you, Jalen Carey leaving Tennessee to go to Mizzou, as you'd call it, Hammer?
I mean, I was a little surprised. I thought everything was kind of in front of Jalen here, but maybe with what the game plan was as far as what we were targeting in the portal combined with, I believe my understanding is he was asked to take a pay cut in NIL money and wasn't willing to do that. So that formula equated to bye, Felicia. And I mean, whatever. I wish him the best for him personally. Screw Mizzou, but I hope everything works out for Jalen.
Yeah, and we talked about Mizzou, their coach. They win games not supposed to, but I mean, it's like I think they have performed well over the last couple of years, but it's definitely a program decrease. And he's not Rick Barnes. Talk about the coach. I almost looked at it and you said he wanted to. I didn't know they asked him to take an NIL cut. It almost looked like, or seemed like it was one of those things where Rick Barnes knew he needed to get something different and kind of pushed him out. There wasn't a roster spot for him, but maybe it was a little bit of both. Like, if you want to stay, you're gonna have to take less money. No, I don't want to take less money. All right, well, you got to go.
Yeah, and probably less minutes as the way this roster is kind of filling out early on. Just may not have been a place for him in the starting rotation, and he, I mean, I can understand that. I wouldn't want to be told, hey, we don't need you to start. You're going to be a role player. We're going to pay you less money. I get that. So, that's why I'm like, no hard feelings, because that was more of a business decision, I think, on Carey's part. So, and that's fine. But, when you score 7 points a game, you can't expect to get $3-4 million in NIL money. So,
yeah. T, how'd you feel about it? I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, you're right, Joshy boy. I'm loud and proud tonight, baby. Yeah, I mean, I think I like Jalen Carey more than most. Just the way he can bully people. I was big on that because I don't think you find that often. But he also did not do enough for it to be a sky is falling type thing when he went ahead and decided to leave. And I'm with Hammer. I think he was looking for a pay increase, particularly because he had a pretty good tournament. So the last film that he had out there was good film and all that. So and then there's all the reports that we're going to be spending all this money, and when he's not getting really a piece of the pie, kind of forced into leaving, just like Boswell. And yeah, so I liked him. I'd have preferred to have had him back, but don't think that the sky is falling because of that.
And then it was reported today that Boswell commits to Maryland. Kind of a funny little story how you snatched up Gillespie from them last year. They take Boswell. He's one where we talked about it before, and I'll let you go into it. I think he could have been useful on this roster, especially if he can. He was a pretty decent 3-point shooter. Wasn't an elite 2 guard, but could be serviceable. And if he jacked up more shots, he was pretty efficient on the few shots that he took, and he had a decent tournament run. Again, I don't know if you're going and looking at a juke type player, then it's a massive upgrade if you land him over Boswell. But how do you feel about that move and him going to Maryland? Same sort of thing.
Yeah, I think
not a roster spot on it.
Yeah, you can't have any hate towards Boswell. He played his heart out every night. He started. He showed improvement throughout the season. He showed awesome improvement from last season to now. And I just think that the direction that Barnes was going in, there was not Boswell just didn't have enough. I think even though we felt like there could be a 6-man type role there for him, it sounds like Barnes is pretty heavily leaning on offensive ability, and Bos just hadn't shown it yet. So, and then it's going to be hard to go from a starting role to the bench, and you're just about to be a junior. So it's just another one, like, best interest of both parties involved. No bad feelings. Wish nothing but good stuff for Boswell.
Yeah, I love
Shout out,
Boswell.
Scoop. We appreciate that. We just don't even worry about that right side of the screen right now. What were you saying, Hammer?
Oh, his screen must look different on his end. Yeah, I love Bishop Boswell. Loved his energy, his motor. He played determined. Just offensively was a little limited. And, we did see him kind of progress, like T said, throughout the season and actually had a pretty decent tournament. But when you look at what Tennessee lost, take out Gillespie and Felix from this because they graduated and Nate Ament still on the fence. With what left the roster, averaged 10 points, 6 points, 3 points, 4 points, and 7 points a game. So take the name away, just look at numbers. You can't be disappointed with what you lost in relation to what you gained from scores in the portal. So, and I'm going to answer Joshy Boy's question real quick, who's going to be the worst free throw shooter. That very well could end up being Miles Rubin at 63, 64%. And if that's the case, we'll take it all day.
Yeah. Well, let's before we get into who y'all are seeking in the portal, I forget the tweet. It was someone put out there that they have confirmed or believed, strong wording, that Nate Ament is not going to be a lottery pick, and therefore it makes him it increases his odds of returning to Tennessee. What are you guys hearing? What do the tea leaves say on X or other platforms? T, I know you listen to The Animal. Is that a realistic possibility of him coming back? And if you keep going after big portal names, which, like I said, we'll get to, are you going to have the money to pay him at least a 1-year type salary for what he'd make equivalent to the NBA?
Yeah, Nate. If Nate comes back, the money will be there for Nate. I think no matter what. People can believe what they think they know and what they don't know. It's all going to come down to how the conversations with Nate and his camp go with the GMs. Unless these people are insiders with what the GMs are thinking, I don't think you can know yet. I do think if he's not lottery, then he'll come back. But to sit here and say that we know he's not going to be lottery is really, I think, really challenging to make that call. So all you need is one team to give you the guarantee, and maybe that's all it is that he needs. So it's really going to come down to the determination of him and his camp. How low are we willing to go? And then what are GMs saying with how high we're willing to take you? And then he determines, because I think he could land anywhere from probably 10 all the way down to 20. You never know how the draft is going to go. So it's going to come down to those decisions. But I do know that Nate and Rick Barnes are super. Nate loves Rick Barnes, and Rick Barnes loves Nate Ament. We were having a discussion in our Vol War Room chat about who Rick Barnes' favorite players are ever, and everyone was of the determination that it's either Nate or Zakai Ziegler, or maybe Punter who's from way back at the beginning of the Tennessee times. So that bond could lend itself to Nate being willing to come back. Seems like he really wants to win for Barnes, but anybody who says they know, I think is being unfair to act like they know.
Yeah. Well, Kentucky saw that we have the best insiders in college basketball within the last couple of days. Clearly.
Oh
Oh my goodness! I mean, Pope and Co. even had, Goodman and other big names on complete skates this week. It was quite funny, but especially local Kentucky media, insiders, whatever you want to call them, Pope, out here playing chess while they're playing checkers. It would seem still a lot of other dominoes to fall, but we'll see what happens in the following week. But Hammer, how do you feel about Nate Ament, his odds coming back? You lean more, I think, but you go back 2 shows ago, we all thought like he gone. Now the smoke's kind of building up that he's potentially coming back.
Yeah, look at it from a little bit different perspective because I've got my ear on the ground in a couple of areas that most people don't, and that's Vegas. One of, I won't say my guys, it's not like he calls me up and tells me stuff all the time, but somebody that I pay close attention to, listen to, and interact with, said that he is hearing that he's probably projected somewhere in the 11 to 15 range. So
He gone.
11 to 14 makes him a lottery pick. 15 takes him out of the lottery. And I guess what they're saying is if he's somewhere in that mid-teen range, then he could make more money playing another year at Tennessee. His first year. So I guess that's where we kind of joked about it. It's 50-50. Well, yeah, either he's going to go or he's going to stay. It's, of course, 50-50. But T hit it on the head. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen because if an NBA GM has called him up and said, hey, we're going to take you at 12, then I feel like Nate would have announced he's going to enter the draft. So that tells me that conversation hasn't happened. And even Vegas, who's very good, if you look at some of the NFL draft board projections, they're pretty good. They got a really good handle on what they put up for odds. So if they're saying he could be anywhere between 11 and 15, and I agree with T, it could even be a broader range because you just never know what happens on draft night. I think if he doesn't get like a guaranteed top 12 phone call, then I don't know that he goes. I think he may come back, and they absolutely will have the money for him, regardless of who else they sign in the portal, a.k.a. Terrence Hill and Juke Harris.
So I think lottery picks up to 10 or 12, or was it lottery? You said 14 is
14
lottery?
is a cutoff.
Okay. So I can't remember. I looked this up. So it's either pick 10 or 12 is what I got to is like $6 million. And the lottery picks, the first 2 years are fully guaranteed. It's a 4-year deal. And then I'm not sure how the structure kind of falls out after that from 15 on. But if he is in that 11 to 14 range, then you're looking at a $5 million 1-year deal for Nate.
Yep.
And you would imagine he doesn't announce coming back until after the draft combine stuff, because that's when he's going to really start talking to GMs and putting some stuff out there. We saw the same thing last year with Ortega. So you're talking about Selena, when did Ortega announce last year? Late May?
It was really late. Yeah. We were all freaking out.
Yeah, it was almost June by the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now Nate's been in the system. It's not like, he's going to miss a lot of off-season stuff. He'll be fine. But that's going to be a lot of time where if he doesn't, and I'm sure there's going to be communication before that, like especially if him and Rick are tight, the camp's tight, he's not going to just leave him hanging. But there is going to be a lot of time between now and June where you could potentially go get a stud wing knowing Nate's not coming back, or you just risk it and say, hey, Nate's that kind of dude. If he comes back, we're going to be great with this roster. If he's not, we'll figure it out. But how do you feel about waiting until potentially June after the combine stuff happens before he announces that he might return?
We're not waiting. I mean, you got to operate like he's gone. That's why Rick Barnes is going after, the big names and Juke and Harrelson and all that. So yeah, we're not waiting.
Yeah, Harrelson and Juke
yeah,
is the guy that would step into that Nate Ament role. Either of those two guys can play wing.
Okay, so talk about Juke. Juke's what, 6'7"?
Yep.
Guard?
Yep.
He's listed at
6'7". Yep.
One of the top rated guards he might be the top rated at this point now that some of these guys have already committed. Isaiah from Colorado, now Rob is back at BYU. So I'm not sure where he racks and stacks in the transfer portal, but he was one of the top ones when he came in. And I would have dropped money the moment Michigan went after him. I would have said he's going to be a Wolverine. And Tennessee over the last couple of days has become the favorite if you listen to X. So how do you feel about your odds of getting him, and what do you like about his game?
Well, he got a crystal ball projection today from On3, maybe. Pete Nakos, I think. Maybe been the one to put it out, Pete. If it wasn't you, sorry, because I know you listen. But yeah, he got an official crystal ball projection to Tennessee. So Rick Barnes going to stuff Michael Malone in a locker again would be fantastic.
Yeah, because it was Michigan and UNC who were really chasing him, right?
Yeah, wow. That's correct. And then
it's a big win.
And Terrence Hill has a visit scheduled, and Rick Barnes is 4 for 4 when guys come to visit. They don't leave without committing. So Barnes is cooking right now.
He is cooking. I mean, we were joking about it on Saturday in our 3-hour show. Deacon Barnes, I
told you he's going to hold church up in that portal now.
He's killing it. I mean, and unfortunately, another coach who I like Rick Barnes, can't stand Tennessee. I can't stand Pat Kelsey, and I can't stand Louisville. He's another one that's out there spending tons and tons of money and doing very, very well in the portal. What they dropped on Flory and who's the point guard they got out here from the West? Dadgummit, I'm blanking on his name. But anyways, and now they just got Carter Knox, who I know a lot of Kentucky fans didn't think they weren't super high on when he committed under Cal, and he had some struggles. I actually know some folks from Tampa who trained with him when he came from there. I think Carter Knox is going to be someone who will be a problem in the ACC. Big body. I think he really can compete there. If he can stay healthy, I think Carter Knox will actually be very good. He was the one that I was hoping Pope would try to lean on and stick around. But yeah, they're building the roster. I'm not concerned because I certainly don't care, but I do wonder what their depth looks like. They got a lot of money that's going to end up being that starting five. What the that 6 through 8 spot looks like. But they're doing quite well in the portal while we have up to this point struggled. But T, what's your thoughts on Juke?
Obviously, you know me. I don't know a lot about these dudes from other places, but at least looked a little bit into him. Ton of versatility. I think what he does bring you that Nate doesn't is a little bit more of the physicality aspect. Can take a little bit more from the bumps and pushing and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Nate was figuring it out and getting pretty good at figuring it out as the season was going on. I think Juke comes in not having to figure it out, and he's ready to impact immediately. From my understanding, he and Harrelson were pretty interested in playing together, and that was where I think that's what held him off from committing to Michigan, and then UNC's big push, because he supposedly wants to see what Harrelson was going to do. So now we know, and everybody's all hyped thinking that it's a done deal that he's coming. I think your chances are good, but nothing's a done deal until it's a done deal. But I think he fits. I think he fits perfectly into Barnes. Now, well, I can't even say into Barnes' system because it's clearly going to be something different next year because this is a whole different style of team that he's building. But I think whatever it is that Barnes is going to do, Juke is the perfect guy to be your number one guy.
Yeah.
So
like
hopefully he comes.
Sorry, T, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Like Whiskey said, crystal balls really don't mean anything, and that's largely true. But if you rewind not even a week ago, like you said, Rando, it looked like Michigan was going to just just make him an offer. He wasn't going to be able to refuse. And now we're sitting here right now talking about Tennessee looks like they're the leader to land Juke. So, yeah, granted, nothing until they announce, nothing is set. But you got to feel, as T and I at least, got to feel good about where things are with him. and the Harrelson
Has Juke
signing.
been on
I think
campus?
I mentioned that Saturday. I don't think he's got a visit scheduled. I could be wrong about that. My latest information, he has not scheduled a visit. Let me look.
Yeah,
getting on
the-
campus would be
clicked
big.
off of it.
The big thing was the fact that he did go to Ann Arbor and then left not
Yes.
Wolverine.
Yep. I had it. Give me a second. I'll see.
And I think
You're good.
and it was similar with Terrence Hill. I forgot where he just was it Kansas, wherever it was that he went. The big thing was like if he can leave campus, then then we're in play. And from my understanding, he did leave campus, and I believe he's supposed to be in Knoxville probably now. So he's our on-campus visit guy right now. That's the point guard from VCU. But that seems to be the big thing. Like if the guys get away from the campus that they're visiting, then all bets are off and everything is still on the table. And so far, Barnes has been able to lock up everybody who's come to campus.
Yeah. I don't see Juke as having a visit scheduled. Terrence Hill does either today or tomorrow. So go ahead and pencil him in as he's a Vol.
Yeah. Terrence Hill, 6'3" guard out of VCU.
Correct.
Combo guard, I think he's listed at. Is Day a true point guard? I know we talked about him. I can't remember.
No, he's combo guard. Terrence Hill is more of a point guard than anybody we've got, even including Juke. Because Juke's listed as a combo guard. That kid ain't it. I mean, he's a wing all day long.
He's playing the three, yeah. There's zero
he's a
chance
wing
playing,
all day long. He could be a Kevin Durant type three and bring the ball up the floor some or whatever. But yeah, he's not going to be the true point guard. And then apparently there's some rumors and rumblings about this Jaden Hastings kid. He's a power forward out of Boston College. He's 6'9", 240. And he played 2 years for Earl Grant, who was the head coach at BC and is now assistant coach at Tennessee. So that could be a Jalen Carey esque type player for a little bit of muscle and enforcer. And I love where TVS is because we kind of created this whole Tyler Tanner thing.
Yeah, you did.
And speak it into existence. So who knows? But yeah, Terrence Hill, I think could probably, if that's where we leave it, then I think he would probably be the starting point guard.
Well, speaking about people watching the show, I'm pretty sure it's well documented that Vanderbilt AD tunes in a lot, and all that Tyler Tanner talk. We was, hey, if you can knock it off, this is getting expensive for me.
Yeah.
He just keeps racking up that NIL tab.
Shoot, yeah. More than happy to accommodate them.
Any other ties to Tennessee portal-wise that you have heard?
The Hastings kid probably the most as far as smoke goes. The big guy, the Mustafa Thiam. Oh, where did he go?
There he is.
The center out of Cincinnati. And there's a couple more centers, one from Oregon State, and there's a JUCO guy apparently that are kind of on the radar, but I haven't really heard anything to speak any type of expectation or projection. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this. I think we need a 7-footer. I think we need a post anchor, rim protector type. I know we got Ruben, who is a shot blocker for sure. But I say only because I'm 5'10", so I really can't kick rocks here. But he's only 6'10", and we saw what a 7'2", 7'3", center going all the way back to Foul Ming, Lurch at Purdue a few years ago. So I feel like we got to get one of these 7-footers on the roster. What do you think about that? How critical do you think that's going to be based on what we're doing from an offensive scoring standpoint?
I think it's huge too. Like, and honestly, even if it's not a Felix Akpara athletic long, like somebody who's 7 foot just gets in the way and is a deterrent just being tall.
Yeah.
Like Mara, that's the tall dude from Michigan, right? Like he is not, he's not jumping onto a curb, but he's 7'2", and so folks weren't really trying to drive in there like that. So yeah, I like that. Even I would prefer a Felix Akpara type, but yeah, give me the presence and the deterrence and somebody that we can plug and play when we run up across Amara or somebody like that. So maybe Ruben is still our main guy, but I'm with you because Cade Phillips, was like that. He could jump and had a shot blocker type mentality and all that, but he was only going to be so effective because of his height. So yeah, you need somebody who can be just a presence and a deterrent down there just off size and height alone.
Yeah. Does Eve Pons have any eligibility left? Wonder.
I wish that Joker used to block everything.
Good gracious. Yeah.
I do think, I know defensively the team will look different. Rick Barnes seems to be like, hey, I'm just going to go get guys who can score and I'll teach them defense.
That's right.
But hopefully by the time we get to SEC play, we got it figured out. But offensively, that lob threat is something I think Rick Barnes feels comfortable with having, especially with this high-low game that he likes to play. So I think an athletic center, 7-footer, or someone who can just live above the rim. A lot of times we look at height, but if he's 6'10", 11 with a 7'2", 7'3" wingspan, then you're kind of playing the same level there. I could see that. I want one on our squad too. Like I want someone like that who could rim protector. Now we got Malachi Moreno, we got Reese, who just announced he's coming back. But Malachi would not put him in the super duper athletic category.
No, he's not, but he looks huge out there. Like he's 7 feet. Yeah. So he's still a deterrent.
Malachi is too. Reese is 7'1". He's got an inch.
Yeah, Reese.
And I think his wingspan is longer than Malachi's too. I believe.
Yeah, Reese is slight though. Unless he's put on some poundage, he can't be. But I don't know. I don't want to say 225, 230 at 7'1". Maybe he's bigger than that. He looks. He doesn't look super stout.
Yeah, and I think that's Ruben. I think he's 6'10", 220. I think was the number on him. So he looks a little thin, but he's athletic, and I mean he averaged almost 3 blocks a game this past season. So he can definitely be a rim protector. But we just need that big ugly. Go get one of them Serbian dudes or something. I don't care. We just need a big.
Hey,
not a lengthy big. We need a hoss.
Yeah, there. TVS talking about Deacon Barnes.
Man, we ain't worried about TVS, whatever. Yeah, sure, great.
Hey, he asked, what should we call the Tennessee All-Star team? I think we're going to call them national champions.
I'm good with that. Banner number 1.
Banner number 1.
Was worried about getting to the final 4. All right, so Kentucky fans, I need you in the chat. There's been 3 or 4 consecutive Tennessee comments in here. So we're getting ready to talk Kentucky portal. Alex Wilkins is on campus right now, guard out of Furman. I think he's listed as a point guard. Maybe he's more of a combo guard. He's 6'5". I'm pulling up his stats because out of Furman, I can't tell you I really paid too much attention to him.
So Juice is huge on that dude.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Like Juice, and Juice loves mid-major ball and all that. Juice been ranting and raving about him and a guy I think from High Point.
He's a hooper. Wilkes,
yeah,
he's a hooper.
He's a I'm looking at him. So he's 18 points per game. He is 6'5", 175. So not super huge.
He's light,
but. Yeah, he is light, but you watch some of his film. At least at the competition he's playing at, he's head and shoulders above it. I mean, he's a blow by guy off the dribble, can finish at the rim. Is efficient scorer, close to 48% from the field, but he's only a 32% 3-point shooter. But if he plays that point guard role, and we assume Zoom Diallo is going to be point guard 1, but he did play a lot of off the ball. With the Huskies in Washington. So, and even if he is point guard 1, Wilkins comes in is point guard 2. We need depth there. We need someone who can handle the ball. So that's a huge get for us. if he can come in. Him on campus, I don't know what the offer is or what other schools are offering him. But yeah, as I'm scrolling through X right now, there are a lot of people, not just Kentucky fans, super high on this kid. So him on campus is huge. But let's backtrack, and I want to, again, if you're watching, give us your thoughts too. Selena, I want to go to you on what's your overall thought about this last couple of days. So from Tyron Stokes on campus to Rob on campus, even before that, we had Zoom out here at Keeneland. He leaves that a commitment. A lot of just craziness going around Big Blue Nation news. Do you see it as we had to backpedal and go back and get Zoom? Do you see it as we had Zoom in our back pocket? We just kind of dabbled with Rob to see if he was interested and how much he would cost. Donnie Freeman on campus. Like, how do you see this all going? Do you think Pope is playing a game and he's actually maneuvering chess pieces and thinking about this big brain with Keegan Brown? Or do you think it was, hey, we went all on Rob Wright. He kind of played us a little bit to go back to BYU for some more money, and we had to backpedal, get Zoom, and now we're kind of scrambling. How do you, like, what's your read on the situation, I guess?
Also, first of all, I am very tired, so I am not with it. Today was a
Wake
very,
up,
very long day.
Reveille!
I have my 7 brew.
Lights.
I have my 7 brew. I took a nap before the show because I was like, I won't be awake if I don't.
There you go.
So I don't know. This Pokemon has been crazy, but a lot of it's too because people are like, oh, I saw somebody getting out of a beat up Kia, blah, blah, blah. And it's just stupid stuff just runs wild. And BBN just is like, and to like latch onto it, and then it just blows up, and it just creates all this nonsense and this havoc. I don't know. I think Pope wanted both Zoom and Wright. That's what I think. I think he wanted them both. But I don't think Wright was ever going to really truly leave BYU, unless it's something like insane offer. Because BYU can pretty much match or outpay anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. Like, they have a lot of money. I don't think so. I think he was exploring options to see how much money he could get from BYU someplace else. So I don't know. We have Zoom though. But we'll see.
Not to interrupt y'all, but On3 is showing Alex Wilkins as a 100% to Kentucky.
Cristobal.
Yeah, I just saw that too. And I don't, again, when it comes to what he was getting offered, that probably makes sense. I don't know how many other big schools are chasing him. But yeah, as I was scrolling through, everybody is saying Wilkins lock, which, again, we just talked about this with Juke. You don't really know until it happens, but I think it's probably more likely with some of these mid-major guys to commit off a visit. I don't think he's
easier to
taking
get
a
those
visit.
guys.
Yeah. I just got a interesting message here. Brooks Barr cut his list to 5 back, and he's at BYU. But it's interesting. I don't know. Look up Brooks Barr if you're a Kentucky fan. And I guess CC and Rob and some other folks going to BYU have kind of changed some things. So something to keep an eye on. Just some random message that I got here.
And then,
but Selena, you didn't seem super thrilled about Zoom, or is it just the sleepy eyes creeping in? Like,
I'm
excited
exhausted.
about Zoom?
Like,
okay.
No, I'm excited about Zoom. Absolutely. So people are kind of about his numbers, but you got to think that Washington was not good this year. Okay, like they were not good. In fact, Sprinkle is probably going to be out of there, if not this year, next season. They've lost, I think, like their top 6 players to the portal, something like that. So it's not like Washington is like had a great season because they didn't. The thing I like about Zoom is he's a big body and he's not skinny, right? Like he's got weight on him, so he can play in the SEC where it does get very physical and the guards are all pretty big for the most part. And I've noticed so far the people that minus Rob, of course, the people that Pope are talking to, they're all very tall. It's 6'5" and up, right? Like,
yeah,
he wants to build a big team. Because I think you have to have a big team in order to be really competitive anymore. Unless like your point guard is just like really good, right? Like you have to have that size at every position. Which, all right, I'm down. Like I like Zoom. I mean, he was probably my number one pick overall. Like as far as the PG1 goes. And here's the thing with Rob is, yeah, he's a great scorer and I'm super high on him, but he also did Baylor pretty dirty last year, and that always kind of set in the back of my mind. So he signed a deal with Baylor to come back, and then left after he signed to go to BYU, right? Yeah. So that always set back. You're like, okay, so what if he sounds Kentucky and then he just bounces again, right? So where are we at then? Because he seems kind of like he seems more fickle in that regard.
Yeah, the tea leaves read that the people close to him, even family, like immediate family, really wanted him to go to Kentucky, play for Pope, be the starting point guard. And he, I think, took that visit for them and to see if the money would be different. The money was the same at BYU. He wanted to go back home. If you listen to Jeff Goodman, it was he wants to be the dude, and he didn't want to potentially play with Tyron Stokes, which, you know, if we saved money on Zoom by like $2-ish million, which is being reported, to be able to put that into Donnie Freeman and then throw a little extra money at Tyron Stokes, like that's a win. And I do think there's something, and again, this is just reading tea leaves. This is hope. Hope is not a COA. Throw that out there for T. But they did play together. Zoom and Tyron did play together. AAU ball. And if there's a connection there, if you go on social media, which everybody does right away, boom, Zoom announces, Instagram post, liked by Tyron Stokes, calling him brother. Like, I don't know. I think and he did say he wanted to see what the roster was looking like. So if Pope's getting dudes, that just helps solidify getting Tyron Stokes and getting a Tyron Stokes here who's ready to play. I think that's the big thing, right? So you surround him with guys he wants to play with. He's more motivated to get here and actually play ball instead of, it being a potential Michael Brown, Darren Patterson thing. So I like where we stand right now with Donnie Freeman. I think that's a big get. If you go look at what NBA folks say about him, they think he's an NBA prospect through and through. Just needs a little bit of polishing. Freaky athletic. Again, not going to stretch the floor for you too much, but he is someone who I think we absolutely need. And he's if you go watch his film, at least the highlights that are out there, seemingly a very, very good passer too. Someone who can facilitate the offense from that 4 spot. And I know UConn pivoted. I guess the guy they got is listed as a forward. He really plays the 5, but I do think them leaning and putting money into a 4 or 5 after they were chasing him is a good news for Donnie Freeman to Kentucky as well.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the Rancic guy from Colorado. He must be scheduling a visit too for Kentucky or might be on campus. Like, he's good. Like, I watched him play a couple times this year. I watched him play against BYU this year, and he had them in shambles. Like, he's legitimate as far as stretching the floor goes because he can handle the ball, he can facilitate the ball, can shoot pretty decently as well, and he's like 6'9", 6'10". So he's not a small guy either. I think he would be a good get if we could get him too.
Agreed. I like his game. If you listen to the Rub to No Good podcast, who was talking about him? Bradley. I think it was Bradley that was talking about him. He was really big on him, so you can go check him out. He likes him. I think he was actually like just putting it out into the ether of like, hey, let this dude hit the portal and let Pope get him before he even entered. So now he's out there and he's linked to Kentucky, so that's potentially big. I trust
scheduling a visit or is already scheduling for like later, like this week, like that. It came out today, but absolutely, I think if we can, we have to get him. His game is really good.
Yeah, a lot of folks out there equating him to Andrew Carr type, and I think the game is there. He seems a little bit more athletic than Andrew Carr, but doesn't shoot the ball as well as Carr did as he transitioned to Kentucky in his stats from Wake, right? Carr went to Wake before Kentucky?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did. My thing is that shooting can always be improved, right? You can always improve your shooting stats no matter what. Like you can always, and that's just a lot of time in the gym, a lot of reps, right? That's a lot of that. But the thing about Ranks like is too is his ability to handle the ball. Like he handles the ball like a guard does. Like he will drive the ball like he's comfortable that his hands to be that big, and that's a matchup problem regardless if you shoot on it in the first place, right? Like that creates problems for other guys supposed to guard him. So if you have a guy that's like carry size trying to guard him, he's gonna go around him every time. He's gonna drive by them every time.
Yeah, that's one of those things where, but then he's also going to be a liability on the other side. So that, how do you play that? Because he might not be able to defend in the paint very well. But I want to be able to spread the floor out and, play a true 4, potentially even 5 out offense, like we saw year 1. And I understand what you're saying about shooting can be improved, but I do think there's some people who are just got the ability to shoot the basketball, right? And there's some people who unfortunately just don't. You can improve, slightly. You can go from a 35 to 38% three-point shooter. I just don't know if you can go from a 35 to a 45 and be like a Kobe Bryant type, right? That seems unrealistic, and we don't have anybody on that roster outside of Trent Noah finding his shot again.
So Whiskey just said Cruz Davis to visit Kentucky as well. He's a point guard from Hofstra, but he shoots this last season. He shot 40% from 3.
That'll do.
44% field goal, 40% from 3, 83 from free throw range, average 20 points a game.
Okay, Whiskey, is he on campus that time now, or is he coming to campus sometime this week? We'll wait for him to get in the chat there. Coach, I don't know why your junk doesn't show up. I see it on the chat, but it doesn't come up on my timeline here to put it up. So he said, did Trent Noah go like 2 months without?
It's at the very top. He has that bug where it's saying it's all in the morning. You scroll the way up, all of his stuff is doing the same thing that Tease did a couple weeks ago. It all says 8:25 a.m.
Oh.
That's why. I don't know why it does that.
Well, there I see him now. My bad, Coach. So I don't know. We're not gonna. I refuse to have any Trent Noah slander from you on this show. He went a little cold. But he hit a big one against Cal in Arkansas. So we forgive him for some of that.
So Cruz is currently at Texas Tech, but he's planning visits to Kentucky and South Carolina and some other ones as well.
Okay, yeah, that's what they said, Joe Tipton. So, and I think that's pretty much it from all I'm tracking. Selena, is there any other names that we missed as far as folks we are tied to at the portal currently right now?
I don't know. We're linked to everybody. It seems like at some point.
Well, yeah,
may have an interest in.
We might Zoom call them, so therefore we have to get them automatically every time.
Yeah.
I think those are the main ones for right now. I think that might change in 30 minutes for all I know, but
yeah, it could change the blink of an eye.
But I think we have to get Freeman. I think at this point, like get him commit. Another guard, but my concern, and I saw someone tweet this earlier, and I don't know who tweeted it, so shout out to whoever did, and I forgot the fact that Pope does not seem to be focusing on shooting guards as much, right? Like we're not going after like these hey, these dudes are straight shooters. It's very heavy point guard and like forwards. And I forgot who tweeted it. They listed the top 10 ones in the portal. Maybe it was Bradley from We're Up to No Good. I don't remember, but
yeah, I think the only true 2 guard that we're tied to right now, and he's between us, Kansas, and UNC right now is Terrence Brown out of Utah, who we have not talked about, but is a kid who I want on this basketball team. That's the closest Otega Oweh replacement I've seen. Kid who can just get downhill again, not a great shooter, has good form, but not a stretch out. I think 35, 38% three-point shooter. But this dude can get downhill, take off the dribble. He's a guy you can just give the ball to and let him work. Yeah. And I want him on the team. I don't necessarily know where we stand at the moment. I know we were fighting UNC and Kansas. But
It's Bradley. Hold on. I think did Bradley do that? Let me see. Maybe it wasn't Bradley.
yeah,
Somebody did it. I don't know who it was. But they did that, and I was like, yes, that's a good point. Like, why aren't we going after shooters? But I think it's also we do have Cam on the team, so and he is.
that's a good point. That's a good point. I'm not considering folks who are still on the team. Cam is, and we really don't know what Bray's going to do. Like, we don't know how well he can stretch the floor when he gets some minutes.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah. Real quick. Did you see the thing where Hawthorne was like, somebody was coming back and he's like, I haven't even thought about it?
I think that was old.
Was it old?
I think so. I mean, so I did see it. I didn't go back and look, but I can't imagine he would have done the interview with, I believe, Cat's Coverage is put it out where he confirmed he was coming back.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I tweeted that earlier because I was like, was this like legit or not legit? Because we haven't heard anything else from that. And that was before the season even ended, technically. So it was like, and we haven't heard anything at all. But then we did have Noah and Reese announce this week they're returning. So who knows? Yeah,
that would not be great news if he left. I think there's a lot of high hopes for Braden Hawthorne. And to this point, him and Braden Ramsey was the one that put the tweet out.
I was like, I know it was somebody.
Yeah. The family, so like Pops Hawthorne has been lockstep with Pope's, idea of redshirting him, give him 1 year to fill out a little bit, and then be a guy in year 2. Then probably year 3 before he's really starting to look at leaving Kentucky for the draft and being a true first round ish pick. But yeah, I did see some of that smoke. I don't know. I have trouble believing it. I can hit up Cat's Coverage and see how they feel about it. But outside of that one video, I really haven't heard. And then I guess his tweet is the one that really sparked it, right? The yawn tweet with his highlights.
I think that's what it is too. Yeah, I think that made people like panic a little bit, I guess. But so to me, the thing is Braden Hawthorne is very much I think he could be very much like a Nate Ament, right? They're built kind of similar. They're very tall, lanky, same type of like skill set as far as that goes. So like it was older. Oh, yeah, his dad quote tweeted, I think, is what happened. But I want Hawthorne to play this year. Like, I want him in blue and white for Kentucky because I think he could also be a matchup problem, right? He's what, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", something like that? Plays like a guard.
We got off on a tangent last time, but we said we could see him being Nate Ament-esque, right? Mm-hmm. Taking some time to figure out the physicality of the game. But he can get to a spot. He's lengthy. He can score. Like, he has no trouble putting the ball in the hoop. It's just, can he do it, at this level, at college basketball? He's got a full year getting ready for it, and he just got to put it in play. I will be in shambles if Braden Hawthorne is not on this. Yeah,
we've been high on him since he committed. Like, we're like, we want him to play. Like, we want him to see this through. Like, because right now, if Stokes doesn't commit, hey, Bray, it's your time, buddy. Like, who else is going to fill that spot right now? You're throwing him in there unless we get someone else out of the portal. Because he was a 5-star too, wasn't he?
He was a top 30 kid, I believe.
Yeah, so absolutely. Like, that could be Braden Hawthorne. Stay in the blue and white, please. Thank you.
Also a frequent flyer of the All UK Ball Border Rebels podcast on Heavy Force Sports, from what I've been told. Insiders told me that. But all right, so I think we pretty much covered all the portal news so far. We'll wait. I feel good about Donnie. He saw him. He posted 2 photos on his Instagram in Kentucky gear. He's taking photos. We'll see if he does plan a UConn visit. I'll feel less great, obviously. But from what we've been told, we had the highest offer. We are the highest on him. And then other schools who have been linked have started to pivot, it seems. So I like Donnie, and then I really do want to see a kid like Terrence Brown here to come in here, and then we'll see if the kid out of Colorado ends up.
Whiskey said Wilkins, Rancic, and Cox will be on campus tomorrow.
Okay, shout out. Thanks, Whiskey. Appreciate that. So yeah, potentially a big week, which would be hilarious. Yes, there was a delay, but if we go, what's today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just consecutive booms throughout the week, it'll be one of those like we got all spun up for no reason. Let's talk other portal.
I need to make one correction.
Send it.
I stated earlier that Juke Harris got a crystal ball from On3. That was incorrect. Juke Harris got an expert prediction from Josh Hinchke to land at Tennessee. What makes that interesting is John Hinchke is the publisher of the Maize and Blue Review on Rivals.
So he's a Michigan dude.
Yep.
He
may
Tennessee.
know a little something.
Did you know? So Whiskey put the comment. I did not know that On3's crystal balls were AI generated based off of social media content. I don't know if he was trolling me or if that was actual. If that's actually true. If it's actually true, that's actually stupid.
Yeah, I don't know how those are manufactured, so I can't speak to it either way. But the Juke Harris smoke to Tennessee was logged by a guy that writes
That
for
is
Michigan.
fact, he said. So apparently it is legit, Rando.
Yeah. Well, again, I will double down, and that's legit dumb because I can just start blasting out some stuff on Twitter and just kind of mold that narrative however I want to.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure
I can say anything.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably have accounts they're focused on, and mine's probably one of them. So.
Yeah, well, sometimes On3 needs to worry about actual intelligence over artificial intelligence. So.
God, yes, I would agree with that one.
Yeah, and the fact they keep buying up all these things like On3 and Rivals, it's just making all of it just ass. It's just not good.
Yeah,
it's not good. All right, but looking around college basketball landscape, you talked about Rick Barnes putting Mike Malone in the locker again, but I've kind of been impressed with what he's done at UNC in this short amount of time.
If he does anything, it's going to be impressive. I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? Like if he lands anybody significant, it's going to be impressive in this short of time.
And they have so far, right? I mean, they've had a couple. I know Neoklis, who I really, really liked. He is now Tar Heel, right? He committed. So it seems like he's getting some big dudes out of the portal. Now they're losing a lot, but it seems like he's hitting the portal and he's going after the things that he did, or that I think he's able to use his NBA stuff, and he's going after these Euro kids and whatnot. I could potentially make you into the next Joker, right? Or at least trying to throw that out there and use his NBA ties, even outside of Joker, to start building the roster. So it looks like you were pinpoint on your like whoever the coach is going to be. They are not only going to pay him a lot of money to come to UNC, but they're going to give him a lot of money to start off with to try to catch up to Duke in a very, very short amount of time.
Yeah, 100%. Because they, like I said, they've sat there just for a very long time and had to watch them just continued success. So they weren't going to mess around with this.
I mean, Duke hasn't had anybody commit to the portal yet either. They
have not.
They've
but
been
I do
very
believe they have
quiet.
a decent freshman class coming in, right?
I mean, it's not Boozer twins type of class.
Yeah.
But I have been impressed with Providence.
Yeah,
yeah.
They are just like that coach was like literally said, "Don't doubt my recruiting," and he is putting in that work to prove to not doubt his recruiting. Like they are signing dudes left and right out of seemingly nowhere.
Yeah, they're cooking. They've got what,
5, 6, and they're all like
5.
legit
5.
good names.
Yeah,
like that are like, oh, okay. And then Miami, Jai Lucas is also cooking down there, but I like him a lot. So
yeah, I mean they grab Providence grabs Miles Bird.
They have Dink
from San Diego State, Dink Pate from the G League.
Yep.
Hold
on, I just had it up earlier because I was talking about him on the radio.
They lost Vax.
They did.
But then they replaced him. I mean, of course, I just told you they got 2 great guards. And then Ryan.
Ryan
What's his name?
Sabal.
Yes. Yeah. They're doing well, and of course, a lot of Providence fans they just got Vanderpool too, didn't they?
They got Vanderpool, yeah, and like
Yeah.
he's legit like putting in the work right now in the portal.
Yeah.
Like that man is.
And I had Vanderpool on my All UK Ball portal wish list.
You did.
So
You did.
a lot of Providence fans came after me, and I'm like, listen, I got no hate towards Hodgson because like he's come from USF alum. Like I want him to be, he's a great coach, so I got no hate. I thinks that he got this guy, but I'm not going to come after him or
Right.
even pretend like I'm not impressed with what he's doing at Providence right now. But yeah, he's putting together, and again, you get a coach like that, you got to give him the resources because right now St. John's and UConn are head and shoulders better than everybody else in the Big East, right? So you got a coach that they think can compete with him, give him the money to go get the talent. And we've talked about this before. T, I'll get your thoughts. The Big East in college basketball is a massive advantage when it comes to NIL, in my personal opinion, because there's nothing to compete with. There's no other major sport to compete with. You can literally dedicate all that money or the majority of the money to basketball, right?
Yep. You
don't have to have football, though. You got to worry about like all these other schools. So the Big East, with rev share and whatnot, they can focus a lot of money and attention to basketball to make themselves great at that one sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely think that this is an opportunity for them to kind of reestablish themselves as the preeminent basketball conference, like they used to, the Big East of yesteryear, because like you said, they can all be basketball schools. Wherever the money goes, that's where you got the chance to compete. So it's going to take them, just because that's where they can spend the most money doesn't mean that that's going to be a lot, though. They have to be willing, just because you can spend $8 million on basketball because you're only going to spend $200,000 on other sports or whatever. They're still going to have to spend 10, 11, 12, whatever million to really build the conference back up. But they are in a good position to do so, at least, if they're willing to do it.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm catching up on Coach Evans' comments here at the top of the list. So we did talk about this before you jumped on, that Selena and a certain JMI employee are, potentially.
I'm going to go find the closest bridge. Thank you very much.
Potentially shacked up, but maybe she'll get us some information. I don't know what this is. Which Kool-Aid am I drinking? There's a different flavors that I like to enjoy. So I don't know if he's talking Kentucky football or basketball at this point. But I still have my concerns about the basketball program as a whole. I feel better now that we got Zoom and we got some folks on here, but we got to just see them close. And I really want to see this coaching staff start focusing on doing what they can to be serious and getting guys to close and doing like we have seen Rick Barnes do and like we've seen Pat Kelsey do, of like not letting guys leave campus. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Flory's out there playing cornhole with other kids and whatnot. And, here's what we're going to do. And here's $5 million and you're not leaving, right? Yes. So I just need that sort of seriousness with the basketball program. And I think it's happening. And again, I do believe in my heart that the messaging that's going out there of us being unsuccessful in the portal is because he's not giving out information and the media sources who have to or feel like they have to put out news to stay relevant are just throwing out stuff that's inaccurate to kind of fill the void, right?
Well,
it's actually – go ahead.
I will say, like you said, the people like media sources don't know. I will say, it's very tight-chested or tight-lipped when even Trilly, who knows everything, doesn't know and has gotten multiple things wrong for a couple of days about UK and everything else, right? Like, that's how there are zero leaks coming from that camp, from Pope's camp right now, about what is actually going on. I know Trilly's, he seems to know everything. Trilly and his groupies, his people, seem to know everything in a lot of regards, and they have got a couple things wrong this week in regards to like UK, whatever. So,
yeah, I mean, Trilly bats 1,000 until it's Kentucky related, right?
Yep.
And it's one of two things in my opinion. It's they keep so much stuff close that other people are guessing, and that's how they try to form it, or it's the opposite. And it's one of my favorite things. Like military deception, right? It's like, hey, we're going to throw this out there. You know, this is what's going on while we're doing this thing over here, right? And you know, I think it's one of the two, and I believe that to be true because we've seen it now for 3 off seasons in a row, right? Or I guess Pope's first like entry season where he only had a few weeks to get it done, and then even last year, you know, it was whether it was the right choice or not. It was, hey, Xavier Lee, check out over here. We're fighting Florida, and then boom, next thing you know, Jalen Lowe. Where the hell did Jalen Lowe come from? You know, was that the right call? I don't know, but again, that's just another example of you know, Denzel Aberdeen wasn't on the radar until he was committed. So those sort of things. But there was a lot of other guys that we were tied to, and the Pope with narrative drives. Now, I don't think that's good for him. I do think at a certain point, he probably needs to find a trusted source he can leak things out to that people will go to, because, you know, Coach and I were actually talking about this last night. While being tight-lipped can be a positive thing, we also see how it can be negative, right? Because the fan base and even, again, media personalities are driving this narrative that Pope sucks at his job. He potentially isn't sucking at his job, and he's just doing things a different way and getting the players that he wants. But we know this fan base isn't just going to chill and wait and let it happen. So I think at some point he probably has to adjust that and be like, okay, who do I get the information to that I can trust? And, you know, this is who we start going to, and they leak out just enough to not let him know what the actual plan is, but to keep the narrative in a positive light for him, instead of everybody else just trying to absolutely dunk on him because they've pushed him out, right? And you can see specific people who are very, very close to Kentucky, who I have followed for a very, very long time, have their feelings hurt and are putting out some silly stuff because their feel bads are affected, and they're not getting the info, and they want to do something about it, like make it look bad.
Well, according to Kyle Tucker, Travis Branham, he said, is probably the one that's the closest plug of the bug rando.
Yeah, man, I don't know where these big old things come from. They're huge.
I think Kyle Tucker tweeted today that Travis Branham is probably like super plugged in, is like probably the most plugged in to UK basketball, and even he still is not like in. And what was considered strict. Most people have said that Pope is a very, very tough person to get to know and to like talk to in that regard, because he keeps everything so tight. Yeah. What I'm interested in, though, is the other assistant coaching position. It's crazy to me that we are trying to go through a portal season and we have yet to announce or even like whatever for the open coaching spot, right? Like, I feel like that's pretty important to have, because depending on who you potentially hire, that could influence these kids, or whether they, you know what I mean, like when they want to be here or not be here. So, and that's been open for 3-4 weeks now, I think, something like that. I think it was AB3's position, because it was announced after Hart left. So I just find that kind of weird / concerning. Because right now it's Pope, Mo, and McLean, right, that are doing the heavy duty like thing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Fox is doing at the moment.
I don't know either, but I just find that interesting. I don't know how Hammer or T sees that as far as like having a spot open and not really filling it during the middle of a portal season, but I find that kind of weird and concerning.
Do you guys have a basketball GM, Hammer?
No.
So that's interesting, because you have done very well in the portal so far, or seemingly, and you have more coming in. And that the big thing that Kentucky fans or big accounts have put out there is annotating that the other folks who have done very, very well all have GMs or someone in that role. And Keegan Brown is director of
personnel, personnel development, like that. So he's like the talent evaluator or whatever. But to be fair, Duke has a GM. They don't have signed anybody. Kansas had GMs. They've lost most of their team. So I don't know if that is legit true as far as that goes. Just because you see the other big names have GMs and they have not signed anybody, or they've lost a bunch of people. So I mean, I do see the point that for needing one, especially in today's game and whatever. But I think Keegan's handling a lot of that right now. And I guess Keegan is like the opposite of Pope in a way. So he's like Pope's balancer. Does that make sense? Like he's like Pope's here and he's here. He's like, no, calm down. Like calm yourself down. We think most rationally for a second. So we'll see.
Yeah, I do think we need to solidify the GM spot. I don't know that the director of roster management, it sounds GM-ish, but again, they would need somebody who's working with him hand in hand to get that done using this new tool that helps navigate NIL money and, basically a kind of like a salary cap tool of like, this is what you should pay each player. This is what makes it. I think that's a big deal. But yeah, that is interesting. So you guys don't have one. Who runs most of this? Is it Rick Barnes that you guys trust? Is it to do that? Is it he's the main money guy, or is it the AD? Who's doing that over at Tennessee of that filling that GM role?
Oh, Danny White will tell you real quick that that's not his job. He doesn't have anything to do with it. So, but
someone's got to be doing it. They got to be doing a good job, right? I mean, especially this year, if you guys are giving a bunch of money, $22-25 million, you're gonna have to spend that wisely.
Yeah, it's Rick Barnes and Spire. Spire's our NIL.
The collective.
Okay. Our NIL collective, and I think just between them and Barnes, they're working the deals.
Yeah, and I think basketball is probably a little easier to manage with that because it's probably it's going to have the smallest roster of football, baseball, basketball. Basketball team's going to have the fewest players on there, so it's probably a little easier to manage. And then Spire's been in place for 3 or 4 years now, so they've got a pretty good. I think they've got a pretty good handle on it. But the money definitely pumped up for Coach Barnes this year.
Yeah, they're going to be good. I mean, so far, I would say that they have been the most successful in the portal as far as the SEC goes. Now, there's still a lot of time left. I think there are 6 days after today, 21st, the portal closes.
22nd.
21st, 22nd-ish.
Something like
yeah. So we got about a week to kind of get it figured out. I'm sure there'll still be other names that drop in the portal as well. So it'll also be one of those splash things where a guy who wasn't expected all of a sudden is the new number one. Or at least the top guy, and and jumps to the portal last minute. That you could be like a massive thing. And there's also other pieces of it of coaches leaving, getting other jobs, that sort of thing. As the NBA season comes to a close, so there will be not portal, or I guess not portal window, but there'll be other options out there. But you really got to have a team solidified soon within the next few days. I'll ask you one more question, Shalina. If it's a week, if it's 2 weeks, do you wait on Tyron Stokes to make a decision? Do you just go and try to find a wing and say, if we can land a good dude, we get him, and if Stokes still wants to come here and play, similar to Nate Ament thing, we have this money set aside. Mm-hmm. How do you navigate that if you're Pope or Keegan Brown?
I think you build your team. I don't think you can afford to wait in this day and age with NIL and transfer portal and everything else. Like if you have a guy that says, I want to play here or whatever, then I think you sign him, and then Stokes commits, then you figure that part out. But I don't think you can wait because we've seen so many good players already come off the board in a quick, short amount, they come in bunches, right? So we've seen a lot of people that were like, oh, we don't have them, and they're already gone. And I feel like if you wait, then you're stuck in a position where we're last year, where the players are good, but they're role players trying to play starter spots in minutes, right? So I don't think you can wait 2 weeks on him. I think you just build your team and then save that money / spot if you need to, but everything else you have to have it in place. You also got to think too. There will be guys that are going to go test NBA waters / portal that will back out. Right.
Well, that's a good point.
So you're gonna have those guys too. Like Malachi is not portal, but he's testing the waters, right? You have those players too. So I think you sign what you can sign and who you want right now, by the time the portal closes, and then you see where you are and evaluate then. But I don't think you can wait and kind of put guys on a burner to see what Tyron Stokes does. I just don't think you can right now.
So Whiskey seemed to think the money's going to be there regardless. You build the team. And
Oh,
then
I think
see what
so, too.
happens. So outside perspective, I'm sure obviously you guys would love, especially T. He's waiting to dunk on me when Stokes doesn't commit to Kentucky. But outside perspectives, I don't know, like Tyrone Riley out of San Francisco, that'd have been a dude who I'd like, if you land him, you let Stokes go, you give him a lot of money. I liked his game. I just don't know someone who's in that wing role right now that we are linked to, or we could even try to jump into late, that you say is even close to what Tyron Stokes can be. So that's my hesitation on Manning. I think you build a roster, yes, but you still put in a lot of work to do whatever you can with Nike and whatnot to bring him here. So I don't know. I almost feel like, and this is a dangerous game, I almost feel like you disconnect a little bit, right? People want what they can't have. And I think right now he's loving the fact that we're chasing, everybody's chasing. And maybe you do start trickling and finding that wing, right? You go, we're like, hey, I'm gonna go find, we're all in on this guy, and that starts getting out there. And then he's like, dang, man, actually that Kentucky visit wasn't bad. I do want to play with my boy Zoom. Like, they are building a great roster. I do get to play for Kentucky. I do get to make a lot of money, with this Nike contract. So again, it's a dangerous game, but T, we've heard that a lot when we over 3 years, right? People want what they can't have. And once you start and you get away from recruiting desperate and just recruiting based off of need, and casting that wide net, all of a sudden that bucket starts filling up, right? And trying to equate recruiting future Marines to multi-million-dollar athletes, not hand in hand, but it's just one of those things where, did that work for Zoom? We stepped back from him and went chased right, and all of a sudden he's like, dang, I really do want to play for Kentucky, and then we go win and got him. I don't know how that worked out, but
it makes me wonder too if Kansas is waiting for him too, because they have not made any roster moves either, as far as like really, right? I've not even seen people like really linked to them at this point, like as far as like super serious. So it makes me wonder if they're doing the whole hey, we will wait for you to commit before we build a roster type of deal.
But that goes against what he said he wanted, right? Or what we were told he wanted.
That's what we were told. At this point, I don't even know who knows anything what to believe, right? Because the only person who's ever talked to him face to face is Kristen Peak. That's it. And she was the one that said, "Oh, hey, he's visiting." No one else has actually talked to him. Actually talked to him. It's all just swirling around rumors and stuff. Yeah,
and Jake, I think this is kind of rumor too, right? So I have heard that as well. That people don't want to play with him. That was Rob Wright's thing. I don't want to play with him. Who knows if that's true or not? If I want to be a stud somewhere, we saw it last year with Nate Mint. I don't want to go play second fiddle. I understand that. I don't know that the whole attitude, bad locker room guy is necessarily true.
Well, they've also said that they don't think that Pope is the coach for him because Pope's not tough enough because of the ego.
Was Jeff Goodman, that dude.
This is true, Jeff. And listen, I thought he was like back on the UK side, kind of, because Cal left. No. Homeboy's been on our necks today, tweeting out the most ridiculous nonsense.
Yeah, Goodman needs to focus on just letting other people talk basketball and recruiting and giving insight, because listen to Goodman give me basketball knowledge and like X's and O's is like, again, y'all coming on this show and listening to me give coaching advice, right? No, I'm going to give my rants on how I think I see the game. It's probably not even close to what needs to happen, right? I'm just, my city league, high school level basketball knowledge, is watching the game going, what are you doing? Right. That's basically what you're doing listening to Jeff Goodman. He has zero clue what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
Today, you watched him, he woke up. It's like, dude, get a shower, brush your teeth before you come on your show, man. He looked like, what are you doing? The dude's got a bunch of money. He looked like he was homeless, just rolled into on this. I'm getting on a Jeff Goodman rant. I didn't mean it. Sorry. I should be a better person. But BBN's in shambles. The daddy of BBN will be out of Twitter jail on 3 days. Juice got suspended? Dang, dude, what are you doing, man?
Well, he was coming at BBN, so we are of the mindset that BBN created a group chat and everyone reported him. And
if it's true, now that's something we would do, but I have not seen it personally.
It's like I've got added to a lot of group chats this week, and I've not seen that whatsoever. But that's not to say it's not out there.
I did get some DMs of like, who is this dude and why are you talking to him on your show? And I'm like, listen, man, you have to understand who Juice is. He is doing this intentionally. That's actually not who he is as a human being.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People were not happy with him.
Juice as a human being sends me DMs of like checking in on me, see how I'm doing. Right. So like that's how he is. But when he's Juice on X coming out, he has made it his job. Even though I know that, I know Juice talks to me nicely and like, hey man, how you doing? We chatted up, and then I see his tweets. I'm like, this mother, like, I'm like, he even gets to me. So I understand why he's jacking up BBN, and I could see them doing that. Yeah.
Juice is the
shout out to your suspended.
Yeah. We love you too, Juice.
We'll wrap this up. We do have NBA play-in games happening, NBA playoffs. Hammer, have you started looking into, are you going to dabble in the gambling on the NBA playoff side?
Yeah, I will. I don't do a lot in the regular season, a few props here and there. I don't really mess with totals sides much, but playoffs I get into it a little bit deeper.
Have you looked into, you got any early on bets before the playoff starts you think we can get good odds on?
If you want to look at like maybe conference winners, I've got a couple that I like for that. But as far as series matchups go, not really, not until this thing shakes out and we kind of see who's going to be where. Like, I don't think it matters who plays Oklahoma City. They're going to beat whoever they play probably by 30. But there's a couple other teams that I really like San Antonio and maybe Denver. And they're probably going to meet before either one of them will get a chance to play Oklahoma City. But the East is wide open. I think the West is going to be – it's going to come down to really OKC. I mean, somebody's going to have a hell of a series to knock them out. But the East is wide open, so I'm digging into that a little bit, and I'll have a little bit more for you.
San Antonio there was at one point they had swept them through the regular season. Did that hold true?
Yeah,
I like San Antonio.
I do like San Antonio, but I'm going to be honest, man. I would be very concerned about Denver if I'm San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah, playoff Joker is a different animal.
Yeah, it's true.
This is true.
He just,
and
I mean, honest goodness,
same with Jamal Murray.
Yeah, he just kind of goes through the motions in the regular season. I think he steps up when maybe he hears something or sees something. Somebody pisses him off. He wants to get back. I mean, he can turn it on, but yeah, playoff Joker is way different than regular season.
He's like the most like antithesis basketball player that you'd ever see. Like
off
season, he
could care less about basketball.
He's just out there drinking, riding freaking horses, partying, and then he comes in and it's like, huh?
Yeah, it's like it's his hobby. It's really not even. He's not that serious about it.
No, all the talent in the world. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, until these like 2 months, and then he locks in. But the rest of the time, whatever.
The best Joker interview was after they win the championship, and they're talking about like going on the championship parade. He's like, no parade. I gotta stay. I mean, I'm trying to.
He's ready to go home. Yeah,
he's like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
no, of course.
Ready to bounce.
Then he went on the parade and had a couple beers put in him. He was like, "This is a great time. We should do this more often." But that and with him in that little cart behind that,
that
horse
is the funniest thing I think I've
hilarious. Seen. But the East, you said it's wide open. I mean, it's the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Pistons, right? Do you see anybody else that could play games out of the East?
I think Cleveland's got a better shot at going deep than Detroit does.
Okay.
They are.
You talk about playoffs, though. Playoff harden is not a thing.
Yeah.
But playoff spider is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing about the Pistons, if you can, because we saw it whenever Cade was out, right? They were very, very vulnerable. And so
he's coming back though, right?
He is coming back, but how healthy is he going to be? A, B, you can game plan. You give a good NBA coach a window of 5 or 7 games to prepare. And if you can isolate that one player that everything runs through offensively, you can beat them. I think they are probably one of the most paper tiger 1 seeds I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, they haven't been that successful against top teams either. Like a
They
ton of
beat
their
up
wins.
on
Yeah,
they beat up on the lower teams.
Yep.
T, what's your thoughts on the playoffs? You're probably, I mean, I don't know. I know you're the one that watches the most NBA, I would say, out of all of us.
Generally, I have not this year, man. I've been so frustrated with the NBA because everybody you watch, it feels like it's the same thing. But I'm with Hammer about Detroit. I think New York or Boston are probably your two top teams in the East. Not in terms of seeding, but just like who's probably going to come out. And I'd probably pick Cleveland over Detroit as well. Though I would love for it to be Detroit because we got 2 Vols on the Pistons.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that. And then the West, Stephon Castle's probably my favorite player in the league right now. So I'd be cool with San Antonio doing good things, and then obviously Wemby and all that stuff. So I agree with you guys about what Joker can do. I think San Antonio's dangerous, and then who knows what Kevin Durant can do with Houston. He showed in Brooklyn that he can lead a team, and just his foot size was a half size too big, but he's working with more in Houston than he was in Brooklyn, so you never know. Though I don't expect much from Houston this year. I think your top West contenders are probably OKC, San Antonio, and probably
a Durant Reed Shepherd duo is not to be messed with. All right, that's going to be a dangerous duo in the playoffs.
I'm not responding to that.
Well, no, I think that's a valid statement.
They're not even like a duo. Like that's not even a thing.
Don't let Reed get hot.
They're just teammates.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
if I had to give you
Shepherd,
I'll give you this. I think it's going to be Cleveland and the Celtics for the East. I think it's going to be Denver and OKC for the West.
All right. Might have to find someone who laid that bet for me. Well,
oh man,
we'll go ahead and,
Juice in the comments preaching.
Preach,
preach, Juice.
So he said
Preach.
he's so handsome.
Preach, Juice.
My Lord, he said.
Juice telling us he's so handsome as he laid back in that hotel bed. Juice, you better get control of yourself, all right?
Juice is preaching.
Followed by Reed Shepherd is poop. So
yeah,
he's definitely preaching.
Juice is in his bag.
Yeah,
or his bottle, one of the two.
No Reed Shepherd slander on here. He's gonna show up. I will say, the one postseason Reed Shepherd that I paid attention to did not go great at Kentucky. But he's grown up. Him and the dynamic duo in Houston. That's what they're calling him, from what I've heard. That's what I've been told.
Straight from Rando's brain to his mouth.
Yeah, he just from the voices in his own head.
I see the Instagram highlights, and he hasn't missed a shot. Hasn't missed a shot in any of those highlights.
Yeah.
So batting 1,000. All right. Well, hopefully we get some news over the next couple of days of your BBN. We'll see how Juke's visit goes and follow up visits. Or no, I'm sorry, not Juke's visit. Who was the other one that's coming?
Terrence Hill.
Terrence Hill. Yeah.
How his visit goes, and there is a contender being created out there in Knoxville. It will seem. Got to spend money the right way, and it's got to stay healthy. But right now, Rick Barnes is doing everything y'all said he would do, and I'm not a massive fan of it, but I still got faith Pope's going to pull off some stuff, and it'll be a make or break season that he does well in the offseason. See what we put together. So we appreciate everybody joining into us. We will see you Saturday for the happy hour show. If you watched last Saturday and were one of the winners, you got a message from me. I will get those Bluegrass Elite Heavy Pour Sports gear out to you this week. Juice, I'm just going to turn this off now. Too many poop comments from Juice. Mark Poop and Reed Shepherd Poop.
But look what I found.
What'd you find? Oh, look at that.
Yay!
Rocking the heavy pour pullover. But yeah, so I'll get that stuff out this week, and hopefully you get it shortly. But if you weren't a winner, you can go right there to that QR code, bluegrass-elite.com. All UK ball, border rivals, heavy pour sports merch is on there. Or if you just want some sweet bourbon gear, if you want some regular Tennessee trash, you want some Kentucky greatness, you can go to Heavy Pour Sport, or I'm sorry, you go to Bluegrass Elite and use Heavy Pours 15, get 50% off, free shipping. And then also State Line Co.
Our boys.
Feed the Studs. Feeds the Studs blue one. I got mine order in right in time before they sold out, but all the Wildcat collection is out. They were on the field. They were with Will Stein this week. Pretty massive for them. They're doing some good things. But if you missed out on any of the giveaways from last week, you can still go get your stuff. All UK Ball 25 gets you 25% off and sent directly to the door. We're working on some things. We might have some stuff going on for football season, so stay tuned in. Wish us some luck. We really, really want to get this thing figured out. We have made some great friends who have always taken care of us. They might do it one more again come football season. And if they do, it's going to be one hell of a time. One hell of a time. Fingers crossed. But all right, y'all. I appreciate you. We will see you Saturday. Come on, Pope. Figure. Let's get a couple more booms in here before the end of the week. As always, go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Big Orange.
Go Vols.
Peace. Play the music.